Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah. We have a great show for you today. First, we are going to check in with our news partner, Wisconsin Athletic Foundation. And we've had Wisconsin Athletic Foundation on a few times, but this is the first time that Dick Powell is joining us, so welcome.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and just such an interesting topic. I love having you guys on because this is something that I think viewers at home need to know about, and I know that we're needing some help from them as well. But first, let's go ahead and demystify some of these acronyms, shall we? So who are the WAF? And then what is the RAC, W-R-A-C? Let's talk about that.
Excellent. Well, WAF is Wisconsin Athletic Foundation, and the RAC, like our
lovely logo back there.
Absolutely shows. Is Wisconsin Regional Athletic Complex. And what the RAC really is a project of the Wisconsin Athletic Foundation, which we are a nonprofit tax-exempt organization, and our sole purpose is to enrich the community by providing top quality athletic opportunities for youth and adults in Sun Prairie, Madison, Dane County, and Wisconsin as visitors.
Oh, that's just wonderful stuff. And now why RAC?
Why the RAC? Well, the RAC is important and necessary because we have a couple limitations in Wisconsin. Right now, if you look at the access to, excuse me.
That's okay.
What we have is several factors are limiting the growth of field sports in Dane County, and very specifically, they are the lack of indoor field space and outdoor artificial turf. And then we have, of course, the weather in Wisconsin, which is always changing. So our goal here is to make both those points relevant in Dane County by providing seasonal access to sports regardless of the weather.
Yeah, and what an important cause, especially for youth in the area, and having an outlet to go really 6 months out of the year, right, when we struggle to find an outdoor space to do these kinds of activities. So I just think it's wonderful what you guys are doing. And let's talk a little bit about when this is going to be built, where it will be.
Okay. Where it's going to be built is at the property will be located at 3559 U.S. Highway 51 in Sun Prairie, which is just south of Capitol Drive. The property is a 60-acre parcel, which is immediately adjacent to Reiner Road to the east, US 151 to the west, and Capitol Drive to the north. So if you imagine that corridor, it's just right there on the south side of the corridor for Reiner Road 151.
That's a great location. And just a side note, do you know specifically why that location was chosen? Is it just, accessibility?
Well, we chose that location for a number of reasons. Number one being is just where it's located is that we still have bus routes that can make it out from Madison for the underprivileged to access our facilities, as well as the traffic flows. If teams coming from outside of Wisconsin or maybe northern Wisconsin can fly down into the airport, and it's really only maybe 5 or 10 minutes away. So it's just a wonderful access route, and especially with adjacency up and down on 151, and its access to other parts of the state.
Yeah, I think that's just great how accessible you've made this location once it's up and fully built, and just a great way for folks to be able to get there easily. So that's important too, right?
Absolutely.
And now let's talk a little bit about what we can do to help, because I know you're actually in need of some help. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, we have a couple things we're looking for. Primarily, we're looking for to build an army of volunteers. And what do we need volunteers for? We need volunteers to help us canvass Sun Prairie and the greater surrounding area to make sure the residents are aware of the project. Number two is that we have several of our fundraising activities. We need people to help participate in that. Some of them are, I'm not sure if you've heard of script programs, where a script program is where you can help fundraise without changing any of your shopping behaviors that will help fund our project. Other things are Milk Moolah and Dollars for Donuts with Quick Trip. Woo!
Oh, okay. Lots of great ways. That's wonderful.
Sure.
And let's talk about timing as far as help goes real quick.
Well, our timing really is immediate. The grand opening is scheduled to be April 3rd of 2015, and there's so much to be done. And so we're trying to find volunteers to help us accomplish those goals as quickly as possible.
Great.
Now.
Yeah, so you need help now, and you need volunteers, most importantly. So.
And most importantly, volunteers.
Yeah. Great. Well, wonderful information. We always appreciate you guys coming on and sharing what you're doing, because what a wonderful project for folks at home to eventually hopefully get involved in and utilize as we get to that point, right?
Absolutely, that'd be great. Thank you very
Powell,
much.
thank you so much for joining us from Wisconsin Athletic Foundation, our news partner. We're just getting warmed up. We've got lots of talk of the town coming up after the break. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. If you are thinking about buying a home or refinancing, you want to listen up. We've got a very special guest joining us, James Mercado, who joins us from Providence Home Lending. Welcome.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, very pleased to have you. Now, I've got a lot of specific questions for you, so I'm going to pick your brain a little bit here today. Hope that's okay.
That'd be great.
We're going to talk about interest rates today, and the financial markets seem pretty crazy. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening with mortgage interest rates, if you could.
Well, mortgage interest rates are tied to mortgage-backed securities, which is a big fancy way of saying what?
Right, yes.
So the stock market's crazy. 1 minute's a record high, the next minute's a record low, and it's super not stable. But one thing about interest rates is they're kind of, if the stock market crashes, they kind of get better. If the stock market goes up, they kind of get worse. So we watch it very, very closely, daily, to the hour, to the trade. It's very intense.
Wow. Yeah. We're glad to have you doing that for us.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. With that being said, how does Providence Home Lending really differentiate itself here in the Dane County market?
Well, one of the things that you're going to find if you come into one of our offices is you're going to deal with experts. We don't do consumer loans, we don't do credit cards, we don't do personal loans, we just do mortgage loans. So everyone who works for us is a seasoned veteran, and they watch the markets, the bond market, very, very closely. And that is really what dictates your interest rate. So when there's a movement, boom, they're on it, and they can lock in and get you the best rate at the best possible time.
Wow, that's incredible that you guys move that quickly with the market.
Yeah.
So very good, very good. What's the difference between like an online lender and Providence Home Lending? Is that a silly question?
No, that's a great question.
Okay.
I was just thinking, if I had a quarter for every online lender that screwed up one of these Dane County residents' mortgages, I'd be a really rich man.
Yeah.
But I don't have a quarter for that. So the difference is we're local. You can walk into my office. You can see me in the grocery store. Our kids are playing soccer with your kids. We're not at the end of an 800 number. Yeah. We're not at the end of voicemail. You can walk right in, and you're dealing with professional people who are trained experts in Dane County real estate. Yeah. Big difference.
Absolutely. I think it's really important. You mentioned that local piece before we started a little bit too. I think it's so nice to have that when you're trusting somebody with something as important as a mortgage, as buying a home, as refinancing. This is a big deal for people, and not everyone has the tools and the knowledge that they need, most of us don't, to get through that. So to have somebody a real live person in front of you that you can walk into an office and ask a person a question, that's a big deal. So we appreciate that.
Do you know that for most of America, this is the largest financial decision they'll ever make in their life?
I believe it.
And you're going to trust it to somebody at the end of an 800 number in California?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, and you just lose that personalization for one. I mean, that's probably at the bottom of the long list of things that you don't get. But
True.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you maybe compare to traditional banks and credit unions. What might be the difference there?
That's a great question, because you could say, all right, well, there's lots of local banks in Madison that I could deal with, or local credit unions. One of the advantages of dealing with us is we are at the granular level. We don't have a lot of other overhead that has to be passed through to the consumer. One of the most profitable channels in a traditional bank or credit union is the mortgage division. So that helps compensate for lots of other channels within a retail bank. Well, we don't have all that overhead. So therefore, all that money we can save, that we don't have to spend, we save it and we pass it on to the consumer, and they get a better deal by dealing directly with us.
Interesting. Okay, that's very informative. Things you don't think about. That's interesting.
You're asking great questions.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, hey, I don't know any of this stuff, so it's great to have the expert here on to give us the insight. Let's talk a little bit for folks at home who've piqued their interest now. How do they get the process going with Providence Home Lending? What's the best first steps?
Well, there's no charge. So we take great pride in serving Dane County. I'm a season ticket holder for Badger football. I've lived here almost 20 years, love Madison. So when you come into our office, or the first thing you should do is really call. I guess to answer your question, 227-2000.
Okay.
That's
Nice easy number, yeah.
Easy number, 227-2000. You call us, you're going to get one of our experts. And we're going to do a free pre-approval. We'll sit down, we're going to counsel you. It doesn't cost you a nickel, doesn't cost you a penny. It's free. And how many things are really free?
Great.
But what we'll do is we'll go through your financial situation, we'll do an assessment.
Okay.
And what we'll be able to do at that time is tell you really what you qualify for.
Okay, very interesting. That's an important piece of the puzzle there, that assessment to see.
Yes.
You got to know where you're starting before you can know where you're going to go, right?
That is correct.
Absolutely. Well, very
Yes, ma'am.
informative. I appreciate the information and the knowledge, and I look forward to, folks, if you're looking for, you're going to buy a home, you're going to refinance, definitely go see James Mercado. You can actually see these people in their offices.
Yes.
It's a very nice thing. Providence Home Lending. Well, we appreciate you joining us, James.
Thank you so much for having us on today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, after the break, you're going to get in touch with your creative side. We'll tell you more coming up next on Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Get ready to get in touch with your creative side. We've got Tracy Bartkowiak, who joins us from You Paint It Pottery. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. So this is a fun topic to talk about. So let's talk about the Studio U, and what it's all about, would you?
I sure will. Very simple. Studio U is Madison's original paint your own pottery studio. It's very easy. You walk in, pick a piece out, paint it up, design it. We have a design center with stamps, stencils, sponges, idea books, all kinds of fun for your help and creativity. And you paint it up there, you leave it with us for 1 week and pick up a week later, and we'll fire it there.
And you fire it there. Wonderful. Lots of fun. I so enjoyed this kind of thing, and it's such a wonderful way to just, do something sort of relaxing, great family activity. Let's talk a little bit about price in case there's some folks out there who haven't been to your studio yet. What would you say, is there like an average price range for pieces? What can people expect to pay?
Average price in the studio, $15 to $20.
Oh, okay.
Pieces start at $8 and go on up from there.
Oh, wow.
The price on each piece includes everything from beginning to end except for your sales tax. So pieces range $8 on up to maybe $70.
Okay. Very reasonable. I didn't realize that the price point started really so low. That's really nice for folks.
Yeah.
So you can do something as big and grand as a $70 piece if you're really wanting to do something of that nature, but you can also get some very, very nice affordable pieces, $8, $10, $15, $20.
Yes.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit now. Is this somewhere where you walk in and paint? Do you recommend an appointment? What do you think is best?
Nope, no appointment necessary. You walk in. It's a walk-in studio. I open every day at 11 a.m. and you can come on in 11 a.m. up to 1 hour before I close. I take last painters then just so that you can allow yourself at least 1 hour there for painting. Can call us up ahead and tell us that you're coming with a larger group, and we'll do our best to accommodate.
Okay, but it's actually kind of nice to know we can, on a whim, get a creative seed and just pop in. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing to do. Now let's talk a little bit about usability. So we come in and we paint these great mugs and bowls and plates and whatever it is that sort of suits our fancy. Now, is this just artwork, or can we actually use this?
You can actually use the pieces. They're all food safe after fired. The paints I use are all water-based paints, non-toxic, lead-free, very safe to eat from.
It's wonderful. So we can actually, this is a great potentially idea for gift giving.
Absolutely.
Come Christmas or what have you, you're not just giving a piece of artwork, you're actually giving, you could give your popcorn lover a popcorn bowl that they
something
can
they
eat
can
out of.
use, yes.
Great. Yep. Well, that's a fun idea, especially I've got all kinds of ideas now thinking of the holidays.
All right.
But yeah, great for, Mother's Day, bring the kids in. Just the kind of endless possibilities.
Right.
That's wonderful. Speaking of that, I actually maybe shouldn't have mentioned that, but can you bring the kids? Are all ages welcome?
All ages are welcome. I have newborns coming in with mom, dad, grandma for hand prints, footprints, all the way on up to 90-year-old painters I have. It's great therapy, too.
Oh, yeah,
Very
absolutely.
therapeutic.
I didn't even think of that for the young kids. A great way to keep some memorabilia of little handprints and things. Adorable idea. I love that. So all ages are welcome. And now, is this somewhere where you mentioned we can bring a group if, you'll try and accommodate if we call ahead. Now, what about like a party? Do you ever have like birthday parties?
Yes, I do a lot of parties, birthday parties, corporate gatherings, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, you name it. We'll do any kind of party that you're up for.
Very good. Well, that's very interesting stuff. So, even I can imagine maybe it might be kind of a fun thing to do with a work group or something. Come in and everyone make their own mug for work or something, a little bonding opportunity.
Yeah.
So very
We
good.
do a lot of bridal showers too. Bachelorette
that's-
party,
yeah.
bridal shower. Yeah.
I could see that. That would be a fun activity. So that's wonderful. And then, and you can just pop in for those too, or do you?
Those you set up with me ahead of
Okay.
time. Yeah.
That'd probably be good to
Yeah.
make sure that we have ample
Right.
studio time. And
We have a
such.
separate party room that we hold all that kind of stuff
Oh,
in.
you
yeah.
do? Okay. How big is that party room? What can it hold?
Oh,
up to?
it can hold 20, 25 painters, and I'll do parties outside of hours too. I've had 90 people in Santa Claus in the studio before, so we
Very
can hold
good.
quite a bit.
Awesome. And do
Yeah.
you need to be, are these for expert painters or how
Absolutely
do you have beginners?
not. No.
Beginners can apply?
Yes, yes, absolutely. We have all kinds of help for those who are not or don't think they are artistic.
Very good.
Everybody's artistic in some way.
All ages, all skill levels.
Right.
Come on in, see Tracy over at Studio U, Paint It Pottery. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us, Tracy.
Thank
What
you
a
very
pleasure.
much.
After the break, we're going to check in with our news partner to find out how the fashion show for charity went. It was This Is How We Roll. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are joined now by a special guest, Jenny Addis, who joins us once again. Jenny is a motivational speaker and organizer of the event called This Is How We Roll. Welcome, Jenny.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah,
It's
so glad
exciting to
have
be
you.
here.
Yeah, so glad to have you back. We got the opportunity to chat a little bit on Girl Talk, and most recently, you gave me the opportunity to be a part of such a wonderful, wonderful event, and what a well-oiled machine. I was so impressed with what you guys did over there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, very, very wonderful things. So let's give folks at home a recap of This Is How We Roll, because what a great event. I'd love to tell people about it.
Yeah. So on October 11th, you hosted, which was really exciting to have you be a part of it. But you introduced about 30 models to the runway, and what's exciting about this event is it's called This Is How We Roll, and it's a fashion show, fundraiser, and community awareness event. And all of our models are wheelchair users, as you learned, at the event. And all of the proceeds go to a cause that's really close to my heart, called the Brain Race Paralysis Foundation. And the foundation's goal is to find a cure for paralysis by funding some of the latest medical research. Some of that research is happening right here in Wisconsin, which is super exciting. And then we also give out grants and scholarships to families or individuals that have disabilities that might need some help, and they're struggling with some type of neurological disorder, or their family member is. So
Yeah. And what an amazing charity that is, and foundation. And Brian Reich himself was at the event, so I got a chance to speak with him a little bit, and really outstanding things that foundation is doing. To your point, all the research, and the fact that some of that is right here in Wisconsin is very exciting, very neat things. So talk to folks at home. Now, is it too late for people to get involved, or is there still a way that they can be a part of this?
Oh yeah, there is definitely still a way to be a part of it. For instance, the foundation itself, this is an ongoing thing until we find a cure for neurological disorders, which some people don't realize that when I'm talking about neurological disorders, I'm not just talking about it helping someone like myself who has a spinal cord injury, but ALS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all of those things kind of go hand in hand. So if we find a cure for all of that, we are going to help so many people. It'll be just amazing. So people can go directly to the website and make donations to the foundation, Or, it's not too late to make a donation specifically towards the fashion show and helping us with funding our next one, because we do plan on doing a third This Is How We Roll, so in 2015, hopefully. So yeah, it's not too late to get involved that way. Also, if people want to model, or if they want to be a sponsor, a retailer, volunteers, all of those things, people can contact me directly. And I have a mailing list that I have all set up and organized with all of those different things. And I can get in touch with people as that event grows closer. So.
Absolutely. Wow, that's fun to think about planning for next year already, because I imagine it just takes an incredible amount of people to get that event off the ground, but you yourself did an outstanding job leading that event, and it just turned out to be just such a wonderful, wonderful day, and I was very impressed with the scope of what you did. So
that's
really
awesome.
Really
yeah,
neat.
I mean, it's a small committee that works with me really closely, and then we have all of the volunteers that come out that day. So we try to run a well-oiled ship, but of course things can always happen. But I have to say that I'm very proud once again of everybody that was a part of it. And one thing that I do want to say is that the last 2 years we had it at Bruno Independent Living Aids in Oconomowoc. And they have been so supportive of this event since the very beginning. And this was our last year that we'll be having it there. So we're looking for a new place.
Okay.
So that's exciting because we're growing. And that's super exciting, of course, because the bigger we get, the more money we can raise. And we can, hopefully someday, myself will be walking, and all of those amazing models that you saw on the runway we'll be walking, and we'll all have a better quality of life.
Absolutely. Well, that's exciting to hear that the event just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you're outgrowing your space.
Yes,
so what
that's
a
always
wonderful
good.
accomplishment. That speaks volumes. And to your point, all the models there were so incredibly inspirational and did such a nice job. And you yourself, Jenny, you are really quite inspirational. And we're going to have you back next time and talk a little bit more about your role as an inspirational speaker. And we'll do that next time you come.
Yeah, that
Okay?
would be great. That would be
Sounds good.
exciting.
Well, thank you so much. This is Jenny Addis, the coordinator of the fashion show This Is How We Roll. Thanks, Jenny.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank our guests for joining us on Talk of the Town today, and thank you for watching. That's it for us. Please join us next time.